I know that there was a fairly a scary event in the very beginning when you were about ready to close on this thing, and then let's talk about some of the challenges of getting it closed and starting off.
Matt, you want to take the closing day?
Sure. Yeah, I think you're spot on, Sean. And I think, looking back at what we thought at the time was just insurmountable asks after asks after asks from the bank to get to the point of closing. I mean, we're talking about, perk testing and zoning approvals and, the fact that we're allowed to get internet there and the well there, and we had to do environmental studies and commercial appraisals. I mean, just the list goes on and on and on. It felt like we're like, all right, we're ready to close yet? Nope, we got to do this thing.
Yeah.
Get through all that, and we finally get an opportunity to close on the property. And we are supposed to be closing on the day of Hurricane Helene. And so Dave and I just made the decision. We're like, one step in front of the other. We have to go, right? We just got to keep moving forward. So we drive up to Ashe County to the attorney's office the morning of the hurricane, and we're sitting in a coffee shop, and it is just downpouring. The streets are flooding. I mean, it's a sight you've never seen before. And, we're like, we just keep asking, like, are we still on for closing? And we saw, yep, we're still on. So we walk across the street, we basically have to take our shoes off and walk through a river, going down the street. And we walk into the attorney's office, and, they said, are you guys ready to close? We say, yep. And so we start walking back. And the second we start walking back, the lights shut off. Power is lost all across the town. And so we're like, all right, well, what do we do? Long story short, we wound up closing, signing all the documents through phone lights. So we're using our phones. They couldn't even scan the scanners for our driver's licenses wouldn't work to be sent off for, for different agencies to be able to close on the loan and the banks and all. Like, there's nothing they could do. So we signed all the documents, and then we drive over to the property after closing. Oh, I forget. The second we finished, I jokingly said during closing, I said, watch, the second we finish with all these documents, the lights are going to come back on. That actually happened. We literally finished. We were getting up, the lights turned back on. We're like, go figure. Yeah. So it's just general chaos from the hurricane. We drive over to the property. We've closed on this property. We have no idea what the condition is from the hurricane now. So we drive over there. We can't get to the property because road closures, things are flooded. We wound up having to go back roads around a different direction. We get out there, and the weather winds up being, beautiful after the hurricane. But that was really only the beginning of the devastation in the mountains because of all of the flooding that happened afterwards.
Right.
And so we actually, long story short, like, we're at the property, we're just kind of exploring. Fortunately, there was not a lot of damage to our property, but we decided to try and get to a friend of ours' property. And in the process of doing that, almost got stuck in the mountains because all the roads and the bridges and everything were washing out. So it was a very adventurous close to the project. And Dave and I were always looking back like, I think this was a sign. Like, every step of this.
I love that you didn't lose the enthusiasm. You're like, lights are out, use the phone. I'm not even sure if we closed or own this property yet.
I mean, there are so many stories throughout this project that are just like, it wouldn't be New River Ridge without. We had a friend come up one time. He was helping us install cabinets. We went out to eat afterwards, and he called. And we're like, all right, well, we'll see you later. We're heading back to the property. He was headed home. He calls us. His car in downtown West Jefferson, somebody called in a bomb threat on his car, and they wouldn't let him leave. We're like, are you like, where you can't make this stuff up?
In the mountains of Western North Carolina, huh?
It's the amount of crazy stories that happen.
Yeah, it's like, and West Jefferson, we should spend just a second talking about, because West Jefferson is this cool little mountain gem. I think there are a lot of these out there, but when you happen on one of these where it's having a moment, there's some rejuvenation going on, some turn in the retail and hospitality market in that area. And it's, just outside of Boone and in our opinion, even nicer, the coolest corner of North Carolina. But anyway, it's a hopping little town. And we're there. I don't know if that was a Friday or Saturday night, Matt, when we were there. It was weekend. But every single parking space in downtown is taken in West Jefferson right now. I mean, it's absolutely packed full. So the fact that our friend's Jeep is the one that gets the bomb threat called in, it's like, this is definitely our story. Like, you're attached, buddy. Good luck.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure I wanted this podcast going out. I'm gonna have some sort of an attachment here. Like, I'm gonna wake up and have something going on.
Yeah.